Everyone. Strap. 2 blocks thick is better for today. Hold through if you want it for sitting in the beginning or shavasana at the end. We're going to be building up to a pose that is not one of my favorites. But we have to do that, you know, every once in a while. Usually the poses that we don't feel like we do well are usually the ones that are the ones we're needing. I will say we're going to be doing it freestyle. And when I say freestyle, meaning just on the mat, I do have the blocks available to make it more accessible. But you've done this pose with me in the past against the wall. And it's so much fun against the wall. I actually prefer it against the wall. But as you can see, the class is pretty full and we just don't have enough wall space for it. It's going to be that revolving half moon. So just to kind of give you a demo really quick in case you want to test it out later at home or after class at the wall. One way you can do it is measure so that your legs are kind of in an L-shaped form and you want to make sure the hip point is turned down, toes turned down at the wall. And then of course your blocks can bring the floor to you. And then you're doing the revolving twist. Okay, so you can also do it against the wall this way. Where the leg that's up, the hip point's at the wall. And then you can spiral here. Now I have more flexibility on this side of the twist. The other twist, I probably wouldn't be able to get the hand to the wall, but I have a little bit more flexibility on this side. So those are 2 ways to practice that pose. If we get to it today and you're like, oh, that's a lot doing it freestyle. Something you can kind of put in your back pocket and take it home to practice. All right, so the theme for today. I actually want to switch gears and do a completely different thing. But I'm going to stick with what I had. So I'll say that I'm wanting to do today. I'll save it for another day. There is this app, and I am about to turn 50. I am not big on apps like the younger people are. I just don't like all that stuff filling up my phone, even though sometimes I know it makes it easier, you get discounts or whatever. In fact, when I'm traveling, if I have to download the apps to the airlines or whatever, I delete them after the trip is done. I just don't want it hanging out on my phone. And there is one that Stephanie Jones, that a lot of you know, who used to teach at Half Moon and lead the teacher training program with me. She's one of my dear friends. She moved down to Savannah and she told me some point last year, she was like, you love astrology so much, you should get the app, The Pattern. I ignored her. And then the next time I talked to her, she was like, hey, did you get that app? You're really gonna like it. I'm like, okay, if you keep telling me about this app, I need to get it. And it's called The Pattern. And it looks like a black and white design of a wave. Now, what I liked about the app was that it not only asked you your birthplace and birthday, but it also went deeper to ask you your birth time. And the first time that I ever was asked my birth time and place on top of the birthday was with the Vedic astrologer. And there's 2 main types of astrology. There's Vedic astrology that stems from India, and then there's Western astrology. And the Western astrology is what we're more familiar with. Well, this was a Vedic astrologer, and he lived in Hawaii. He knew nothing about me. This was years ago when I wasn't even big on social media, so there wasn't any information for him to find about me. And all of a sudden, he's doing this reading, Well, first of all, he calls me as our appointment was set up, and he said, something's not right. Something's wrong with the information you gave me, because I'm getting nothing. And I'm like, well, that can't be. It's March 26, 1974. It's this, this birthplace, it's this birth time. And he said, no, you need to get your birth certificate and check. I was like, okay, all right. So I went and got my birth certificate. I was 10 minutes off from my birth time. I told him 3:28 p.m. because I had this little baby spoon when I was little that had the time on it. And I was like, 3:28, spoon. And he was like, but then I looked at the certificate, it was 3:38, 10-minute difference. I called him up and I was like, you're right, I was wrong, it's 3:38. And he typed in whatever he needed to type in to get the information that he needed, and boom. Now he had a reading for me. And he just starts going on, and I thought, are you psychic? Like, what is happening? How do you know all this? Like, you know this about me? I mean, he was going back to 2006. He was like, in 2006, this happened to you. And I was like, what? And he was like, it's all written stars. So anyway, this is actually Western astrology that this pattern app is showing you. And so I really like it, and I don't use it all the time. I'm not obsessed with it, but every day it'll send you like a little notification. And you can either look at it or not. I don't look at it every day, but it gives you patterns. Like, this is your pattern right now with your career. This is your pattern right now with your own growth and potential. This is your pattern right now in relationships. This is your pattern with this or that and the other. And it all goes by what you are in your natal chart, what makes you specific and unique. And it brings in the addition of all the universal concepts of energy that's happening to the planet and affecting humanity. So anyway, Saturday, I opened up the notification and I really loved what it said, because it was more, sometimes it's collective energy and maybe not specific just to you. And this was a collective energy about Uranus going direct. And there's going to be a lot of planets going direct, or all of them direct, within the next few months. And so when that occurs, it's like the green light. It's go time. So think about what your go time means. How are you trying to level up somehow? What is your ambition? What is your desire? What is your projects? What is something that may be kind of lurking in the back of your mind, and you're starting to feel a little motivated and a little excited and maybe willing to step out of your comfort zone, or willing to try something new, or willing to take that leap of faith? Boom, this is like giving us permission to go. At the same time, I want you to be aware that we're jostling right now between old Earth and new Earth. In astrology, 2020 to 2024 is the collapse of the old ways of the old Earth. 2024 to 2028 is the beginning of the rebuilding for the new Earth. So 2024 is included in both of those. So we are experiencing both the collapse and the kind of new energy at the same time. So we're jostling back and forth between the two. So when I talked to Stephanie last week, Stephanie's coming up again with this, I spoke with her, and we only get to speak like once a month. And when I spoke to her last week, I was like, how you doing? And she was like, well, it's been really weird. It's been very bizarre. I've had some things happening that's triggered a lot of anxiety and trauma from my past. At the same time, beautiful things are happening, and I feel all this creative energy surfacing inside. And I'm like, that's 2024. And my boyfriend and I were discussing, since November, we have had awareness and realizations and epiphanies of these shifts that are happening. And I'm sure you're experiencing this too, because he and I are really kind of polar opposites when it comes to like reading the energy and stuff. So I know that we relate to you guys. It's just noticing like things in the past, whether it's family or relationships or situations or circumstances that you find yourself in that you would normally have a particular emotional response with. you may be discovering you're responding differently. There may be like a little bit more maturity in a way, or there may be a little bit more of a distance or a removal from that. So you're being more of the witness, like you're noticing, like this is the old, this has been the norm, but I'm seeing through it. And it doesn't have to take me down, like the way it has in the past. So these little shifts are happening, but Uranus, to come back to this, Uranus is the planet of freedom and the energy of major shifts and changes. So Uranus going direct, especially for 2024, is like a push or a launch into the future, which is kind of exciting. And in fact, Rob and I were talking over the weekend. He goes, I don't know what it is. He goes, some things are morphing and I'm feeling a push. And I don't know where the push is going, but I feel like something's about to take me forward. I've been feeling the same thing, even though I have no clarity on it. And again, this is what's happening. It's 2024, right? This is what's happening to all of us. We're going to be up leveling. So this is what I'll share with you. Let's go ahead and get the post, and then I'll share with you what the app said. So take your strap. We'll go ahead and get the first one. We're going to bring the right knee in. Take the strap around the ball of the foot. Have your arms reaching up to hold the strap, finding your edge of flexibility with your hamstrings. And then since we're just beginning, you don't have to engage your left leg or foot quite yet. So it can stay somewhat relaxed. You can even have that knee bent if that's better for your lower back. So go ahead and rest your eyes. And as you lounge here, just gonna take this information in. Uranus has gone direct. It's time to integrate any changes or breakthroughs that have been occurring in the last few months. You may be noticing a new pathway opening up before you, or something being illuminated in a positive way. This is the time for us to become even more authentic than we already are. Perhaps even ready to try unconventional ideas, to reflect on how life has changed or how we've been impacted to promote such change. If you're not noticing change, maybe embrace the idea of being a change maker, and a change maker for the better. To break away from bad habits or things that restrict us from growing. Remember to feed yourself things that make you feel good in your body, or do things to help you to stay grounded, or things that induce joy. So we'll reflect on that when we're in the next Supine Padangusthasana A. For now, take both ends of the strap into your right hand. Flex out your left ankle and extend your left leg, firmly planting that thigh on the floor. And you're going to wave the leg to the right as you breathe in. And as you exhale, you're lifting the leg up and crossing it over the abdomen, but refraining from the twist. Just working into that IT band. Inhale, flare the leg away. And exhale, pull it back up and across. Now incorporate this with your breath. So the inhale creates the abduction. And the exhale creates the adduction. Let's do this a couple more rounds. The activation of that left leg will keep the pelvis more stable as you bring in this mobility. Okay, the next time you draw the leg back up overhead, exhale, bend the knee, remove the strap. Draw your left knee in, hook it around the ball of the foot, send it up. And for now, we're just gonna hold here. So for Pada A, that's perfectly acceptable. If you need to keep your right knee bent, do so. You can start off with the right leg more relaxed at this point, like we did the previous side. Now, I want you to concentrate on your breath first. I want you to breathe slowly and deeply in and out through the nose. Letting the chest and belly rise on the inhale, fall on the exhale. So remember last week when we came back from the snowstorm, I was telling you guys I'd started waking up in the middle of the night with anxiety that I'd never experienced. It was almost like a panic attack, feeling like I was suffocating, couldn't breathe. And I would have to get up out of bed and pace the house or take a shower, and then I would have to bring in my yogic tools. One of those tools was reminding myself to breathe in a deep diaphragmatic way, because that is a beautiful recipe and can be medicinal for anxiety. And I was also having to use affirmations, telling myself I was safe. I had a conversation with my friend who's a psychic medium this morning, and those moments of waking up at 3 a.m. started happening again over the weekend. And she was reading into my energy and reading into the collective energy. She was saying that this is what's occurring with the collapse and the resurging of the new earth. When we're experiencing these things, it may not be what's happening in our life now, but a healing and integration of what's happened in a past life, if you believe in that. That was the subject matter I wanted to change my lesson plan to, so we may talk about that more next week. Slide out your right leg if the knee is bent, flex the right ankle, take both ends of the strap now into your left hand. And as you inhale, take Padangusthasana deep. And then as you exhale, lift the leg up and cross it over the abdomen, refraining from the twist. So keep your low back anchored down. Inhale, a slow opening to the left. And the exhale, crossing it over, working into that iliotibial band. And then you're just doing this a few more rounds. Synchronize it with your rhythmic breath. And then go ahead and bring it back to center. Bend the knee, remove your footing so that the strap can release to the side. Now as you inhale, point your feet and stretch your arms overhead. Morning stretch, and then as you exhale, bring the arms around and catch your left knee. Inhale, morning stretch, arms overhead, both feet pointed forward, and then exhale, draw the right knee in towards your belly. Now we're going into this more Vini yoga flow, alternating the knees, left to right. I hear some ujjayi pranayama in the room, and that's perfectly acceptable when we are in this practice. Sometimes we need the diaphragmatic breath, sometimes we need that ujjayi pranayama. Listening to the sound of that ujjayi breath can allow us to be very meditational with our practice, and it can ensure whether or not we are flowing with the breath. It's almost like dancing to music, moving to the song of your soul. Now, the next time you hug in that right knee, we're going to extend both legs out in front of us, but we're going to take the hands and prop them underneath the buttocks. So we're providing a little platform with the hands to sit on, basically. And we're going to do the single leg lift. So start with your right leg, point the foot, lift it overhead. Flex the ankle at the top and lower the leg, but allow the heel to hover a few inches above the earth. And then inhale, point and lift the right leg, staying on the right side. Exhale, flex, lower, and hover. Good, continue with that movement. Flexing the ankle as you descend. Notice when you're pointing and lifting the peroneal muscles that attach to the shin, tightening up. And then notice when you flex the ankle, the calves doing that as you lower. Notice it's the hip flexor and the lower abdominals that are helping to sail the leg up and down. And the next time the right foot comes down, just drop it gently and we'll swap sides. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, flex the ankle. You guys are doing great about maintaining this sense of control with movement. In other words, we don't want to kick or flare the leg. Let's do one more on the left. When it comes down, release it to the mat. And then we're going to move into double leg lift. So point the toes, tie the legs up together. Flex the ankles at the top and lower them down and hover. Point and lift as you breathe in. Flex and lower as you breathe out. Let's do 3 more. Trying to keep the legs as straight as possible. Once you've done your final 3, set your heels to the floor, remove your hands from below, slide your feet apart, take the arms overhead, lounge for a moment in the star-shaped position. Notice how your limbs lengthening out can help to stretch out the belly now, opening up the midsection of the body that was helping to coordinate that movement. This is a yin way to perform Shavasana. In this position rather than the corpse pose with the arms beside you. And I just want you to notice the difference. To me, this pose really does help to uplift the mood. Remember, one of the recommendations at this time is to do things that induce joy. Iyengar used to say, when you keep the pits of the arms open, you're less apt to be depressed. So if you're ever going through a period of depression and you're on your mat, maybe try this position out for your Shavasana. Now take a deep breath in. As you exhale, draw the knees in towards your side ribs, catch the shins or the backside of your thighs into stirrup or tree frog pose, like your thighs widen. Let your feet relax. And then draw the knees together to Apanasana, wind release pose. We're going to roll to the right side, push down through the left palm, and we're going to come all the way up to stand. So when you come to stand, that was our warm up. Round your feet, spread out your toes. Bring your hands to prayer position at your heart. All right, we're going to start off landing down on the left leg, picking up the right knee, finding a drishti point to set our eyes at. And then as we exhale, we step the right foot back and the arms reach to the back wall, and we inhale, come right back up to Pada A. Exhale, step it back into a lunge. Again, inhale, coming forward. It's okay if you have to tiptoe down a minute. And then exhale, step it back. All right, stay here. Make sure that front knee is aligned over the ankle, facing the center of the foot, and bring the arms up now. Look straight ahead. Good. As you exhale, bring the arms down, but flare them wider apart like wings of an airplane. Inhale, coming up to crescent lunge. Exhale, hinging forward to hover, expanding our wings. Good. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, splay your wings. Hold here. Get that front foot heavy. And when you're ready, step forward. Right knee lifts. Right ankle flexes. Balance and breathe. And release. Nice. Going to the second side. Rounding your right foot. Picking up your left knee. Concentrate your eyes at one point in front of you. When you feel ready to go, step back. Arms reach towards the back wall. Inhale. Pada A. I'm standing. Exhale, lunge without the hands. Good. Now stay on the ball of the back foot, check in with the front alignment, and then inhale, arms lift. Exhale, bring the arms down, trunk down, but then splay the arms wider. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, pouring over. And again. At your own pace, according to your own breath. This time we'll hover here. And then when you're ready, launch into Pada A. Modified form. Strong standing leg. And release. Get your feet aligned so they're underneath your hip points. Hands to prayer position at your heart. Let your arms lift overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward and down to your Uttanasana. You are standing forward fold. Now take your hands behind the backside of your legs. Clip a hold of your right wrist. Slide the hands down the back of your calves. Let your head and neck go. So we're not using the arms to pull in. But as the arms slide down, notice how your knees may want to bend slightly. That's okay. You may be able to connect your abdomen to rest on your upper thighs. Don't force that, but it may be possible. Even if your knees are bent, see if you can slightly jut up through your sits bones, just to activate your hamstrings a little more. Don't forget to breathe. Affirming here as you hold. And release everything on this earth that holds me down back. I am growing into my fullest potential. On your next inhale, slide your hands to your shins, lengthen out through the vertebrae, draw the shoulders back away from your ears. Exhale, slide back down and in. Hands to the floor this time, so you can inhale, step to your plank. Exhale, rock forward and lower down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, lift to upward facing dog. And then exhale, curl your toes and roll back to downward facing dog. Now spread out your hands, firmly push into the floor with them so that you feel your arms lengthening, your back opening up, your sits bones way up in the air. See if you can lift them maybe an inch higher by pressing through your feet. Once you've gained that extra height, I want you to inhale, lift your right leg up. And as you exhale, swing or step it all the way forward and up between your hands. Good. Once you're established here, find those blocks, set them up alongside your right foot. Set them up below your shoulders. Push into the right foot, straighten out your right leg. Now spill your head down, look towards your left foot at the back of your mat. Make sure the toes are facing you. Then lift your head up and roll your left hip slightly more forward into the room. You got it. Notice how that changed up the activity in the front leg. Glue down the mound of that front big toe, and as you exhale, lunge the knee. Good. As you inhale, straighten out the leg. As you exhale, this time bow forward, bending the arms or draping the upper body. Inhale, straighten your arms, lift your head. Exhale, lunge the knee. Beautiful. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, let go. Inhale, re-lengthen. Exhale, lunge the knee. Good, keep this going. Inhale, straighten, square the hips. Exhale, drape down. Inhale, create space. Exhale, lunge the knee. Good, one more. Good, sink your back knee to the floor. Keep the back toes curled for a moment. Let your hips get heavy. Now untuck that foot. Walk the blocks back. Flex the right ankle. Fold if you want. Inhale if you folded, lift up. As you exhale, walk the blocks forward. Press down with the right foot. Good, inhale, back it up. Flex the right ankle, lift the toes. Exhale, bow if you have the flexibility. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come back to the sole of the foot. Good, inhale, walk the blocks back. Half split, half Padmanasana. Inhale, lift. Exhale, walk it forward. Good, now tuck the back toes. Lift that back knee. Re-straighten the front leg, re-square the hips. Once you dial that left hip around in front, you have the option to be here. You have the option to drape down, or you have the option, I know it's early, but you have the option to turn the blocks to a lower height, to pick up your right toes and to slide it out, landing the back knee, untucking the back foot, and creating a version of your split. We're not trying to touch the floor. Now, if you're super Gumby, you might be able to get there already, but this is still pretty early in the practice. So with the blocks, you push down through the blocks to get that lift through your hips. So you're not trying to go all the way to the floor. Okay, but then we're like, how do we get out of this? Okay, so to get out of it, you curl the back toes under. You lift the back knee. You push down through your palms. You pull up through your hips to drive the right foot down to the ground. And then you turn your blocks back up. Good. Lunge the knee. Lose the blocks. Plant the palms. Step back, plank. Exhale, rock forward, lower down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Usually I say splits for the very, very end. But today, our big pose is going to be that revolving half moon. So I love that you listen to your body. You don't have to ever do anything the teacher is suggesting. Listen to your body, see what your body's prepared for. All right, let's lift the left leg up. Exhale, swing that foot through and up between your hands. Get the knee aligned over the ankle. Bring those blocks into play today. And straighten out the front leg. Drop your head. Look at your right toes. So my right toes actually are facing me. But when I lift my head up and I check in with my hips, I can tell that right hip is further back than the left. So regardless of where your back foot's located, bring that right hip around in front. That's going to activate that IT band, the outer connective tissue of the left thigh. Good, now let's go. Exhale, bend the knee. Same sequence as before. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend the elbows, release. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lunge the knee. Good, inhale, straighten out. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, create a lift. Exhale, flex the front knee. Inhale, extend the front leg, square the hips. Exhale, bow forward. So just keep working in sync with your breath. You're doing great. Your head is up when you lunge the knee. Your neck is neutral when you straighten the leg. And your neck can collapse as you breathe out. The next time you lunge into that front knee, we'll tip the back knee to the floor. We'll keep the back toes initially tucked just to work into the quads a little bit. Oh, I meant to say, when we're working with blocks this way, try not to have such a death grip on the blocks because that makes your wrist sore, okay? They're just here to help. And then untuck the back foot. Straighten out the front leg. Lift the toes up. And then, of course, you can exhale, bow forward. Very similar to what we did standing. Inhale, space. Exhale, walk it forward, plant the foot, sink the hips. Inhale, walk it back, half Panamanasana. Holding on the out breath if you want a little extra. You can always pad the back knee with a blanket if your mat's too thin. And then affirming in your mind, I choose to dwell with an infinite possibilities. All right, here we go. Coming back to the sole of the foot, curling the back toes under. We're popping that back knee off the floor, making sure the hips are even. And then you can choose to stay here. You can fold, or you can flex that left ankle, straight down to the back knee, turn down the blocks, and you can do your Hanumanasana, your splits. So sometimes I even will take a bolster up underneath the pelvic area for this pose, but that's usually when we save it for the end, make it either restorative or active. Here, we're going to figure out how to get out. Push down through your palms so that you feel the pelvic floor, the bandha already wanting to come into play. Curl the back toes, lift that knee, slide your left foot closer. Turn the blocks back up to their taller height. Now standing Hanumanasana, lunge the knee. Good, lose the blocks. Plant your palms, step into plank. Lower down and hover if you can. Inhale, build to your back bend. And exhale to your downward facing dog. So being inverted this way will help to create a possibility for us to cleanse the lens of the third eye. Meditation reigns in that, but poses like this can be useful. Let's bring the feet together at the top of the mat. Lift up halfway on arrival, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, spill all the way down, Uttanasana. And this time, take a hold of your left wrist. Slide the hands down the backside of your calf so that you're closing in a little bit more than before. And you may even notice a difference because we've been opening up this area of the body. The next inhale, release your hands, root your feet, sweep the arms out and up overhead. Exhale, bring hands home to the heart. All right, we're going to go back to the initial flow where we lift the right knee. Exhale, right foot steps back, arms sweep back. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, stepping back. All right, stay here. Now inhale, keep both feet where they are, come to crescents. Good, exhale, forward, arms out. Inhale, crescents. Exhale, forward, arms out. Now shift your weight, pick up your back foot, as I just lost it, to Takasana airplane. If your balance is really off today, you know you can have those blocks standing up underneath your hands. If you feel pretty good with balance and you want to flap your wings to add in challenge, you can. If you want to scoop by bending the standing leg and then coming back up, you can add in that challenge. Good, now land your right foot. Come up to stand. Something for everyone, right? So, balance off, you're here. You can still dip if you want. You don't have to. But just know that's a possibility too. All right. Shift the weight to the right, hands to prayer. Left knee lifts. Exhale, lunge it back. Inhale, stand in balance. Exhale, lunge it back. Keep the feet here. Inhale, crescents. Exhale, hinge, airplane wings. Inhaling up. Exhale, fly when you're ready. Blocks can stabilize you. You can flap the wings. You can even dip. Land your left foot. Come out safely. Nice little break for the wrist. All right, we're going back into the flow. Remember, I said we're going to target that IT band. We need a little bit more breath, okay? Inhale, arms reach overhead. I'm losing time. Oh no. Exhale, release. Oh my God, I thought we had like another half hour. Inhale, come up. I'm going to have to condense this. Exhale, release. Inhale, take plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, roll back. Be here and really breathe here. Feel into your body. But also recognize you're so much more than this body. Your soul is massive and is not limited to this body. Inhale, we're lifting the right leg up. Exhale, swing the foot through between the hands. Bring those blocks in. Push down through the right foot to straighten out the right leg. Dial the left hip forward. Good, now reach the right arm forward and push down through the left palm and slowly clockwork it up as you revolve your twist. Nice. Now, hello IT band, right? Feel it? And we don't even have the back heel down yet. Okay, so I love, this is actually my favorite version of this pose. Exhale, bring the right hand down. All right, lunge that right knee just a tad because we're gonna hop the back foot forward and down. Drop your head, and now the left toes are slightly catty-cornered. They're not directly facing you. All right, press through the feet. Bring the hands to the hips and square them up. We may go a little over today because I have more. Like, come on. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, we're going to fold with control. And you can either tap the block or tap beyond the block if that's a possibility. And inhale, come back up. Good, exhale. Tailbone releases back as the front side of the body comes down. All right, this time the hand is going to land to the block. So when you come down, let your left hand come to the block and let your right arm dangle, okay? Already, I'm feeling that IT bend. Slide your right hip back and tuck it in. And now take that right arm up towards the sky. So you can reach that right arm forward and up, or you can just fan it up. And now it's like the I version, right? So as a teacher, I get to jump out. I'm just kidding. Usually I do jump out and I go around and check alignment, but I'm feeling like I need this too. Except I'm seeing art and I really want to correct. All right, tuck this in, pull your heart forward. Ah, see that lifted your head and chest, right? Now, spin.
Mess it up.
No, you got another inch there. That's it, stay there. And then you don't have to do any more with the shoulder. All right, I know it's a lot, come on down. I know, but we're not done. All right. People left. The left block is going to go forward, and it's okay if you need to lunge the right knee to get the left arm stretched out. You got it. Now, Left arm, right leg, pick up your back foot. Haha, right arm dangles. All right, if this is all you want today, beautiful. But if you want to twist, here it is, that revolving half moon. Bring your heart towards the front side of the room, even though you're spinning it towards the windows. Does that make sense? We're trying to lengthen the spine. Good, exhale, dangle the right arm. Lunge the front knee, tiptoe the left foot down, and bring the left block back. Did that work out? Oh, yeah. Perfect, okay. Blocks away, palms down. Vinyasa. This may be our last vinyasa. Let's just call it. It's our last vinyasa. Find yourself here. And the way we find ourselves is through what? Breath. Breath takes us back to spirit. That spirit is the soul. That's the true self. That's the true authentic self. Remember, this is the time to be more authentic than we already are. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, swing that foot through and up. Find your blocks. Straighten the front leg. Roll the right hip around in front. You got it. Take the left arm forward. And we'll do the easier version right now. A good prep. And then you just want to keep sliding the left hip back and tuck it in. There it is. Yep. Nice. And if it's ever a struggle to have that arm overhead, you don't have to keep it there. You can bring it to the hip. All right, exhale, let's bring the left hand down to the block. All right, let's lunge the knee just a tad bit so we can hop the back foot forward and slightly angle the toes away. All right, once you have your footing, hands to the hips, come back to stand, right arm reaches. Exhale, tailbone back, hinge forward, maybe tap down. Inhale, stay in control. Strong foundation. And exhale, hinge. Last one. This time the hand's going to come down to the block. So if you felt a little tight in your upper body, maybe try sending the block just slightly forward. And just see if that helps. Dangle the left arm. You can reach the left arm forward and clockwork it up, or you can also fan it out and up towards the heavens. And then again, if that shoulder gives you grief, if it feels like a strain, it's really about the twist through your trunk and not so much about the arm. The arm will come with, so if it's a struggle, just bring the hand down. Nice work. It got out. What side am I on? Exhale, left hand down. Here we go. Lunge that front knee. But we're bringing the right block forward. And you are really stretching it because you want a lot of space between the two. And then we launch into it and dangle the left arm. And we're twisting the same direction we did in revolving triangle with this revolving Ardha Chandrasana. The half moon. Notice if that back leg wants to drop, reach it to the back wall, just like you're reaching your heart towards the front wall. Good, exhale, bring that hand down, lunge that front knee, tap the back foot, bring the block with. Awesome, lose the blocks. Step to your plank, come down to your knees. Shift onto your backs. We're done with standing. Oh, but I need to show you this. Okay, so someone in the next class told me last week, you really need to watch The Elephant Whisperer. Right? Did you see it? Yeah. It's so good. It's on Netflix. It's only 45 minutes. It's a beautiful documentary of a couple that has an elephant sanctuary. And so they're taking in, like, you know, baby elephants that get stranded. And anyway, it's a beautiful little film. We're going to be moving into one of the elephant poses because I was inspired by that over the weekend. But we're going to do the Kundalini way of lifting up and down to bridge. It's different than our regular bridge. Because, you know, I like to like flow with the bridge. This looks more like this, okay? So your feet are underneath. It's in, out, in, out. It's more of a thrust kind of movement. It's short, sharp, in, out, in, out. But don't lay down yet. I want to show you where we're heading next. After that, I know I have too much plan today. You can scoop the shoulders under and try to wrap around your waist. Okay, if you can't do this, this is where the block's going to come in. Because the elephants that we're going to do today, we're going to be trumpeting one leg up. And then once we trumpet the other leg up, we're going to try to do waterfall using our arms instead of the block. But if you need the block, boom, elephants, boom, waterfall. Okay? So it'll depend on your strength and flexibility when we get there. Okay. I gotta breathe. Don't want us to rush. Lie down on your back. Bend your knees. Toes point forward. Ankles under the knees. So bring your feet just slightly closer. Okay, arms beside you and your palms face down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, spill down to the sacrum. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. Good. In, out, up, down. Good. It's a more rapid breath. It's not diaphragmatic. 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Good. Now see if you can hook and rock and tuck the shoulders under the body. If that's a possibility, round the upper arms, wrap your hands around your waist. Can you be in supported bridge with the use of your hands? See, I'm making ourselves do this on occasion because we've gotten so adjusted and used to the blocks. And that's okay. If you don't have the flexibility in your shoulders, if you don't have the strength in your upper body, definitely grab that block. It's okay. There's always options. Good. Some of you are already an elephant. Lift one leg up. I'm not going to tell you which because some of you are right and some of you are left. And that's okay. Go with what you feel intuitively. The toes point in elephant like you're trumpeting with your trunk. Good, bring that one foot down, bring the other foot up, and just do a singular leg to start with. And then once you've held each for about equivalent time, then fly both feet up to waterfall. And again, use that block if you want to make it restorative, no problem. It's hard to use just the hands. And I love how you guys are discovering that you can use the different heights of the block. Small, medium, tall. Some of you decided to go towards the shoulder stand. That's okay too. But let's slowly start our exit out of the inversion. Take your time, be cautious, use your core. And then see if you need a counter position after that. You may or may not. You went into shoulder stand, you may. If you stayed in waterfall, you're probably good. Your back feels a little tense, maybe hug the knees in. or do happy baby. We are ready for our rest, which means the end of physical activity. It could also be the beginning or the ending of your pranayama. So if you need your pranayama as your meditational tool, then of course you can use that. But if you're letting the breath go, the mental activity is just noticing the ticker tape of the mind. You may not have as much right now after this physical practice, which is the point. So allow your inner witness to still observe. And if those thoughts are unneeded, unnecessary, unhelpful, uninspiring, are not related to the now, then let them go, one by one. It's reducing the monkey mind. Scrolling on social media is feeding the monkey mind. So unplug. And move into the space between those thoughts. Because that's where our pure potentiality and our growth potential awaits. Hearing the sound of mindfulness bell, shake it. Remember, collectively, we're being asked to feed ourselves something that makes us feel good in our body, that helps us to ground and induces joy. You can check mark that for today because you've been here doing this practice. Let's go ahead and deepen the flow of our breath and begin to awaken the body. Slowly begin to exit the pose to come up to a comfortable seat. Once you sit up, turn the eyelids down. Bring your hands together to Anjali Mudra. And set our intention to continue to be co-creators in our life. The energy is supporting that right now. And let's set our intention to be proactive versus reactive. To be the creator of our circumstances instead of the victim of our circumstances. The light and the love that I hold within my heart, I bow humbly to the love and the light which you hold within yours. I'm sorry I took you a little over, not so sorry because we really needed the end. I didn't want to just do all the standing and then Shavasana. I really wanted us to get inverted. So thank you for sticking with me. I wanted to share that, first of all, I'm doing a restorative and healing touch, which is basically yoga massage techniques added into the poses on February 16th. It's going to be a Friday night. Jen will be my assistant with that. And then I wanted to introduce you guys. I mean, I know you know Elena already, but this is Megan. Megan and I knew each other from Unity, one of the studios that I teach at now and have been since Half Moon closed. And funny enough, she ended up moving to Spring Hill, Columbia area, and that is where Elena moved. And they are both connected to a studio called Lotus Rising. And Lotus Rising is so in sync. It's so in sync with the way we do yoga. So if you're ever down that direction, these are two of the teachers here. And now you know a familiar face, and I recommend that studio. And Kelly, the owner, is great too. So just be aware. Other studios exist.
That is true. And yeah, it was Michelle, Lisa, and so I call her Willow. I call Lisa Willow. She wanted to be called Willow. So I started calling her Willow. And then we ended up giving her, you know how we give you guys Sanskrit names? We gave her one for Willow. I can't remember what the Sanskrit was, but